This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service, broadcasting live from the KFAB Penthouse studio, high above Underwood Avenue in downtown Dundee. This is the only show in the metro area that focuses on the growth and development of your favorite city. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is absolutely legendary in this local real estate business, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. It's been a great week, and we have a restaurant review this week. Every other week, Sarah Baker Hansen writes Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews, and this week it is Saffron Urban Indian Kitchen. You can read it by going to growomaha.com and clicking on Eats, E-A-T-S, in the navigation bar. Pretty much a pretty positive review. You and I have both been to Saffron. I think the place is great.
Yeah, I've been there probably about 5 times. Delicious. It's part of the exciting, always eventful Exarban Village, and she does a great job. And
our Sarah Baker Hansen restaurant reviews on Grow Omaha are brought to you by Cheer Athletics. Cheer Athletics is America's #1 all-star cheer gym, and the Omaha location is just south of Highway 50 and 370 in Papillion. Well, Trenton, what do you think? Should we go to the news?
Oh, yeah.
It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com, 114th and Davenport. Holly Schneidwin and the team of mortgage brokers over there take very good care of their clients. If you are thinking about buying a house anytime in the next year, go have that initial consultation with Eagle Mortgage. You want to get that pre-approval letter so that you are armed with the necessary weapon when you go into the house hunting wars. And it doesn't matter whether you're going to go conventional, FHA, VA, Eagle Mortgage will take care of you with all of that.
Eagle Mortgage will get you a loan, and you will not feel alone.
That's true. Well, they're going to try to get you a loan. If you have crappy credit, they might not be able to.
They're miracle workers.
Okay. I mean, we don't want to promise anything they can't deliver here, but they're the best mortgage broker in town. I will go that far.
Yeah, they make you look good.
EagleMortgageCompany.com. Yes, they do. All right. Into the news of the week. First item on the docket. We got you could call this a massive apartment project that is planned for the Dodge Street corridor. This thing just went through planning board. It's going to have 329 units in a 6-story building. It will be on the southeast corner of 48th and Dodge, but it'll go all the way to Douglas to the south, and then it'll go almost to about 46th Street on the east. So about a 2-block long, not quite to 46th Street, but past 47th Street. And this thing, they're going to have to take out 9 homes, a bunch of a couple of commercial buildings. The developer is going to save one small brick building at exactly 4629 Dodge Street. It's a veterinarian's office, kind of cool building, designed by a prominent Omaha architect, and it was built in the late 1940s. That's going to be integrated into it. This is going to be a transit-oriented development because it's on the orbit line. But I tell you what, this will definitely change the look of that stretch of Dodge.
I've often dreamed about having Dodge Street views from my kitchen.
Well, if that is a true statement, you can get them when this place is open in 2024. So we've got other apartment news coming out of the planning board this week. Omaha Planning Board approved $6.6 million in tax increment financing for a 5-story, 255-unit planned on MH Landing. This is the development that sits on the site of the former Ramada Cocoa Key Water Resort. Before that, the legendary Holiday Inn Central, which for years was kind of the de facto convention center for Omaha before the CHI Health Center Omaha was open. This property is going to be called Exarban Keys, completion planned for late 2024. That's a $62 million project.
Development, they did Centerline Apartments, which I was involved in selling the land on that one. They did the Swivel, and they're doing the Clive, or was it
Clove?
Clove.
Yeah,
Clive,
on about
Clove.
Clove, whatever you want to call it. About 78th and Dodge, I think, is
sir.
that one? Okay. So Trenton, there's a list put out by an online bank of the states where homes sell the fastest. And guess what state was number 6?
Iowa.
Wrong. Nebraska. Nebraska was number 6, and Idaho was the fastest. Idaho is the fastest. So if you want to sell a house real fast, own one in Idaho.
You have an online bank? Do they have drive-thrus?
I don't know, but if you want to sell a house pretty fast, own one in Nebraska. 6th fastest state. Doesn't really surprise me very much. Applied Underwriters, which is building the beautiful headquarters campus on the southern part of Heartwood Preserve.
You can see it from Pacific Street looking south.
Which the closer that thing gets to completion, the more people are taking note of it and saying, "My goodness, that's one heck of a building."
I can't tell where you're going to park.
Well, that's by design because all 1,100 parking stalls are underground. It's going to be like no other building really in the state of Nebraska in terms of its, niceness and street presence and all that sort of thing. But get this, there are 2 Applied Underwriter sister companies. Both are in the property insurance business. They both go under the name Centauri Specialty Insurance and Centauri National Insurance. They are moving from Sarasota, Florida to Omaha.
Excellent.
Yeah, we love that. And so they're coming here. They'll maintain an office in Sarasota, but moving their operations from Florida to Omaha. And by God, we would love to get more of that.
I think they need more landscaping at Heartwood Preserve.
I love it. I think that's good. I think we need.
No, it's great. It's awesome.
I think every development, if they could afford it, should be built with such
Fine
landscaping.
corporate citizens.
Yeah, we want to have a beautiful, beautiful city. All right, here is a cool project that initially went through the planning board this week. Urban Village is planning on taking what is, if we can be frank here, an eyesore lot on the south side of downtown Omaha. The actual address is 1508 Marcy Street. If you're wondering where on earth that is, can you picture 15th and Leavenworth? It's basically 1 block south of that. So right at about 16th and Leavenworth, there was that store. I don't know if it's still Kraft, but remember Kraft DC was there. I think that. So
yeah.
This would be on the half lot immediately south of that. And
They got the pound, the dog thing, on dog sitting down below.
Downtown Hounds. I remember there are commercials that used to run on KFAB, Downtown Hounds. At any rate, this is right south or behind of that. So looking at, it's one of these classic 5-story apartment buildings that we're building over urban Omaha like crazy these days. 82 apartments, 70 parking stalls, 44 in the garage. So that'll be another transit-oriented development. So a nice addition on the south side of downtown. All right, that is your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages like nobody knows mortgages. Going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Kevin Morrison from Tentrr. That's spelled Tentrr. Tentrr, new company doing some really cool things for camping enthusiasts, and they have a big presence and a growing presence in Nebraska. You're going to learn all about this. In the meantime, listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a jiffy on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Where are the founders from?
New York.
Yeah.
And Maine, I think. They're in Maine now, but
Are they excited about
you passed me. I just got to do both presentations.
REI? Are they happy about REI coming to Omaha?
Yeah, there's some conversations happening there.
Oh, partnerships. Yeah. Well, I would imagine anytime you could get more retail that promotes camping, that's good for a business like yours.
Right.
And I've got mine on the screen here.
Okay.
I got mine in color, Kevin.
Well, if I use the color printer and my wife doesn't sign off on it, that's a problem. So yeah, I'm default black-white. Yeah.
We don't want you to have any
What's the
trouble.
punishment?
Oh, we are on camera, so you might want to be careful.
Loss of privileges?
Loss of privileges.
You won't watch
with
this.
the printer. So, yeah.
What's the punishment? I don't know.
I remember when
Never tried to find out.
the internet was in its infancy, I remember
It was just a fad back then.
a guy calls me up and said that our brochure had too much color in it, and I was using up all his ribbons. I'm like, did you know you can print in black and white?
Do you know that one time when the internet was just in its infancy, you got a call from someone who said your marketing sucks? Remember that guy?
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but your marketing sucks.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing is, like, if something was more than like a couple bag, like if your data sheet was too big or something, it would, because it was dial-up, it would clog people's connection and stuff like that.
Now, when are you going to tell your fax loop story?
Yeah.
Remember you used to always be fascinated with fax loops?
Yeah. He might still be alive, that guy that used to send people fax loops. So you get black pieces of paper
and tape them together, right?
So it was when people still have faxes on their cards.
Yeah, some people do.
Then it's virtual faxes or whatever on your computer inbox. But basically, you take black pieces of paper, you make a loop, and so like run it at night, and you go through everybody's ink and paper.
So you fax it to
I've
someone.
never done it.
So you fax it to someone, and the next morning they come up and their office is covered with pieces of paper with black rectangles printed on them, and they're out of ink. Yeah, they're out of paper. Fax loops.
There's one thing that you'll never see on the internet. I challenge anybody to find this. You can find forking, but there's no such thing as plate and forking.
It's a good thing we're not on the radio right now, because forking is almost an FCC violation.
So plate and forking is where you go to somebody's house. Usually use plastic forks because metal's too expensive. Plus, they really mess up people's lawnmowers. So you go and you take plastic forks and you put it in their grass all over the place. So they have to go and pick them all up individually. Of course, you have to put them down individually. But then plate and forking is someone goes out of town, you take styrofoam plates or paper plates, you make crop circles in their lawn, and it kills their lawn. And you can make shapes, you can put their name, you can say dirty words. And so look up plate and forking. It does not exist.
Trenton is very forking funny.
Thank you. Thanks, Amy. You liked his joke better than mine.
This is Jim Rose.
She hears yours all the time.
Rosie Did You Nosy live at 8:50 in the morning. But in case you miss it, it's on the podcast page under Jim Rose at kfab.com.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. The show's brought to you by D&M Roofing, Omaha's premier roofing contractor, working with both residential and commercial roofs. Trenton and I have used the company personally ourselves and could not recommend them more. They just do an outstanding job of taking care of people and their technical expertise. The actual roofs they deliver and repair, second to none. So D&M Roofing, and also we're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. More on them in a moment. But let's talk about camping. Who doesn't love to camp? Trenton, you and I used to go camping all the time.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Back in the day. But we didn't have anything as nice as Tentrr. We had to pitch our own tents and set up our own campfires and everything. So Tentrr is this really cool company that has developed a presence in Omaha. And we have Tentrr's man in Nebraska with us, Kevin Morrison. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. And give us a little overview of Tentrr, spelled Tentrr. What it's about, where it came from, and what you guys do.
Yeah, Tentrr started back in 2015 with our founder and his wife. Were just really looking for a different, cheaper, simpler way to provide camping for those people who want to go out and camp but didn't want to lug all of the tent and, sleeping and all of the other things that come along with it. Like you guys said earlier, you used to lug your tent out. It's the same thing, but they really found a way to provide this type of simple yet very nice tenting experience for campers who just want to, come in, stay for the night or two, and then move on.
So Trenton said, and you may or may not want me to say this because it's another company, but Trenton said it's kind of like Airbnb for tents and camping in a way.
Oh, we don't mind. Actually, and that's important because Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, all of those, what they call OTAs, those we're integrated into all of those. So when, for instance, if you were to go out onto Tentrr.com or to Airbnb and look up Louisville or Ponca State Park in Nebraska, you're going to find our sites out there.
Okay, so you're in 3 state parks in Nebraska. You're working on a couple of more. So if I want to stay in a Tentrr tent in one of these camps, how do I do it? And when I get there, what happens? What's it like? What do I do?
Absolutely. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go out to Tentrr.com, go out to the application, and you're going to search on Nebraska. And as you mentioned earlier, we're currently in 3 parks, Ponca, Louisville, and Sherman. And so what you would do is you'd go out, search for which location you wanted, which site you wanted. We have currently 30 sites available in Nebraska. You select that, and you book your reservation. At that same time, we process the reservation with the state. We give the state and the park manager a heads up, hey, we have a reservation coming in. When that camper shows up for the booking date, we have what we call a camp host. Meet them there and escort them to the site, get them used to it, give them the directions, give them the lay of the land, if you will. And then we provide, if needed, we provide the water and the other services that camper may need. And then when we leave, and then when they're done, we come back and we clean up the site and we get it ready for the next reservation.
So that's pretty handy. So you don't. It takes a lot of the work, and people can enjoy it, especially with families and things like that. Are there air mattresses and the modern conveniences? What are some of the things that you supply that people wouldn't think about?
Well, in all of the state parks, we have what we call our signature site. And that site is, if we talk about the kit and caboodle of everything that's in it, it includes a 10 by 12 deck, a
wooden platform.
A wooden platform made with treated wood. Actually, I'm sorry, 10 by 16 deck with a 10 by 12 foot canvas tent, safari type tent, that's bolted to it. So it gets people up off the ground, right? And in that tent, we put a queen bed, 2 end tables, a loo, a Tentrr loo, or porta potty, depending on the part of the country you're living in. An additional pop-up tent. If you got a couple of kids you want to put outside on the grass, they can go out there. But also provides a solar shower, which is a bladder that you can fill up with water, hang it in the tree in the sun for a few hours, and you're taking a warm shower.
Really?
And people utilize these features remarkably. I guess maybe it's an age thing. Millennials utilize all of these features.
Really?
Yes.
So, and when I'm looking at a picture of a Tentrr setup, it looks like there are 2 Adirondack chairs on the front. Do they all come with that?
All come with the 2 chairs, 2 benches with a picnic table with an attached dry box.
Okay.
So, yeah, everything you need to go out there. We have a fire pit / grill.
Even a fire extinguisher.
And a fire extinguisher, a propane heater, which we know the Nebraska hunters are going to be looking forward to this next year, is that a lot of these sites and these parks are out in very populated hunting areas.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So go ahead, Trent.
What, other than food, what do your campers need to bring?
Well, the campers need to bring their sheets and their pillows if they need such. We don't provide the bedding per se. And they need to bring their food. Otherwise, we provide pretty much everything there at the site. Any extras that they want to bring is up to them. Most of the time, we work with the park if there are those need firewood. Good example. This allows the park to sell firewood to our campers if needed. So, yeah, a lot of the extras of things campers might need, they can find in the park.
We're talking with Kevin Morrison, who's a Nebraska manager for Tentrr, Tentrr. And Kevin, you were saying that one of the things that makes Tentrr really desirable for the state parks in Nebraska and elsewhere is that you can use areas of the park that are maybe underutilized, because you can pop up a tent darn near anywhere.
That's exactly right. And these examples, especially in Louisville, if you get the opportunity to go down there, or up to Ponca, we are utilizing areas that the state park had not been using in the past, or had been utilizing them for different reasons. But as we all know, the state parks, you can't get a reservation to go camping anymore. So opening up these sites and putting a very nice experience out there for campers who didn't want to lug a tent and things of that nature, this is great for them, and we are starting to see quite a bit of activity, especially as the heat starts to fall off. We're going to see a lot of activity in all of our tents.
You get a lot of repeat users?
Yes, we do, very often.
Will this be year-round? I mean, can you go camping in January when it's a degree below zero?
Absolutely, and this is going to be dependent upon the park. For instance, Ponca is open year-round, Louisville is open year-round, but there are restrictions. Sherman, on the other hand, is not open year-round per se, because they do have to turn off water and things of that nature to keep things from freezing in the park.
Do the owners of Tentrr see going international, or are they already international?
There are opportunities to go international, but they are growing at such a pace within the U.S. that they want to make sure they manage that growth well.
The quality control.
Right.
Where's the headquarters?
New York City.
Okay, so headquartered in New York. There are 11 Tentrrs in 11 states now. Nebraska was the 9th, I understand. What about Nebraska made us kind of early in this company's expansion?
Well, I think it really was this idea of being able to provide these types of services in areas that were not being utilized. And the park was very open to partnering with Tentrr to get these things open and available. Especially, we take a lot of that work of reservation, booking, things of that nature. We take that off the park's plate, right? And we manage that for them. So it is definitely a mutually beneficial relationship. We are both, definitely providing services and experiences that haven't been there in the past here in Nebraska.
Well, I'm thinking I need to check this out. I think I need to make a Tentrr reservation. My wife Stephanie will be thrilled when I tell her we're staying in a tent. But when she sees it, maybe she'll be okay when she sees the wood platform and all that. They do look really nice.
Yeah, I think I think we have a part of Ponca, which is very special to us. We have 7 sites up right on the Missouri River in a part of the park that's never been utilized before. And it is a Lewis and Clark landing spot right on the Missouri.
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
So we have 7 tents out there, 2 of them what we call duals. So 2 families could go out if they wanted. But we see family groups coming out and just taking all of the tents and staying out on that end of the park.
How far apart are the individual sites?
It really depends on the park. For instance, in Ponca, we have 5 sites that are more than probably a mile or so apart.
Oh, wow. So you're not in this big cluster of like an RV park.
So if you're using the heated bladder bag for the shower outside, you want plenty of distance from tent to tent.
Yeah. Well, we have a privacy tent for that as well.
Oh, good. Okay, now I feel much better.
Yeah. We are, we're conservative folk. We're going to throw in a privacy tent.
Well, Kevin, we appreciate you joining us. Tentrr sounds great. Glad Nebraska is one of the first states to have it, and I'm sure a lot of people will continue to enjoy it, especially as you expand into some of the other state parks in the Nebraska area.
Well, thank you guys, both gentlemen, for having me in. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Kevin Morrison from Tentrr, Tentrr. All right, we're going to take our middle of the show break for the news and all of that. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Builders District as a part of the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies. And we're also going to talk to Jerry Slusky, head of the Commercial Real Estate Summit, major 600 attendee real estate event coming up in the later part of this month, August 26th. So all of that and more, plus the lightning round. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Is this all online?
Good stuff. Pardon me?
Is this all online?
Yeah, but I'll send you guys. Let me know what you want.
Okay. And you just give it back to your wife so she knows that you're not.
Black and white.
Black and white. You are not in trouble.
Well, yet. It's early Saturday. It's going to be a long weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there are other reasons a person could get in trouble besides printers.
Absolutely.
So, what's the cost of this?
So, private land. So I'm also responsible for private land sales in the Midwest.
Keep in mind this is recorded, but there's about 10 people that will watch this. But go ahead.
Oh,
on the video, so we can talk later if you'd like.
But they're 10 very
private land
people.
sales. No. Yeah, they are for private land sales. They're $7,500 for the owner, but we come out, we build it, we set it all up. We set up the online.
No, I'm just talking about for renting? For if I want to go use a Tentrr?
Right now in Nebraska, you can get them $70, $80 per night.
Oh, geez, that's
yeah,
great.
but if you guys,
You know somebody? It's like having an uncle in the business.
I have an uncle and a nephew in the business, so yeah, and we know the father of the nephew.
Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money?
I get it.
It's pretty cool. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
How'd you get into it? Did you find it, or they find you?
I found it. I literally was, as I said earlier, I just
Farthest away from banking you could find?
well, just the corporate world. Period. You know, I was in the payment side, technology side of banking, so it was even.
What'd your wife think about it?
Which wife?
When you decided the current wife for doing
Your
this.
wife.
Oh,
the
my
one
current
that
wife.
controls the printer.
The printer, yeah. Well, initially she was excited. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Good luck with her.
You're leaving your banking job
She's
to go work
very
for camping?
supportive. She won't. It's not her thing to go
She
stay in
hasn't
one.
done- Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
ever, so at least you have a place to go, and you use too much.
Yeah.
You use too much ink.
That's why they had Benny of the job. Really.
Yeah,
It's like,
really. Honey, I need to
go?
know. I need
Okay.
to get the experience. I really need to be able to.
Those conversations have happened in our household.
I'm going to go
more than
test
one
out
occasion.
our tents at Ponca every single
Are
one.
you? So are you in charge of sales for this area too? And so the whole ball of wax those things.
Kit and caboodle, I think.
Do you get to hire somebody when it gets bigger?
Yeah, actually, I'm in the process of doing that now.
Excellent.
Yeah, especially out west. I just hired a couple of contractors out west in Ord because what I couldn't put on the radio. Are we still in the video?
Yeah, it's all recorded,
Yeah.
damn it.
So we're going into a couple of other state parks here. We just not able to announce which ones yet.
So what do you post at like Whole Foods, or where do you see employees?
Whole Foods. I'm missing
Organic people.
Natural people, crunchy
see.
people.
I see.
And we love Whole Foods.
Okay, I got it now. I get the reference.
You're working your way up to Whole Foods. You're
I'll
currently at
put it
Natural
right in.
Grocers.
I'll put it right into the skit. So, I to this point, Jim's helped out my brother quite a bit on the.
You trust him?
What if you wanted?
No,
What
I
if you
didn't
wanted-
hire him.
Oh, okay.
What if you
I
wanted?
hired somebody he recommended.
What if you wanted a Tentrr and you needed a DJ on site? Then Jim
would do it.
Jim would do it, yeah.
Were you
Or
ever,
he'd talk
you ever a
one of us
DJ?
into doing it for
Have you
him.
done DJing?
Oh yeah.
It's the whole family. How many brothers are there?
There's me. There's three of us.
In case you're wondering what we're talking about, folks, we're very good friends with his brother.
Who's a lifelong DJ and can't give it up.
And does other things, too. That's not the only thing he does.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's not the only thing he
Thank
does.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely a face for radio.
Yeah,
right?
so do we
Okay.
now. So do we.
We got a voice for sign language.
We try not to throw stones, given that we live in a glass studio.
Well, we are talking about Jim.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
He would fit in fine here.
Yeah, he would.
He would fit in fine.
He's been on.
He has, a couple times.
On Stratus.
Yeah.
So
on
they're
Stratus.
they're cleaning, they're gonna be taking care of a couple of our sites.
Really?
Painting them. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's not a bad deal.
No. That's what this is gonna bring new revenue, new opportunity to all different parts of the state.
Yeah.
That's
a big
and
thing.
they're growing quickly. So we're just trying to keep up at this point.
I've done
How many
about
employees does corporate have? Do you know?
50.
50 already?
50.
Okay.
Well, corporate the entire company is 50. There's probably 12 in corporate.
So is this a full-time gig for these two now? For the owners?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Owners, we have a CEO, chief growth officer, accounting, finance, all of those. But I think the growth kind of got ahead of them. All the number of states.
As he usually does with startups.
Yeah. The state, they were caught off guard by the level of interest of the states because of the declining reservation opportunities and the opportunity to increase their revenue.
This is during COVID, where they really want to be a part.
State parks have got to just love you. Just love
How long have you been
guys.
there?
Since last year.
Okay, so you're in COVID, kind of.
Yeah, I've been, I was just a consultant for a couple of years during COVID because I was just, I didn't want to go back into banking, but those were really the only analyst jobs, consulting jobs. So I was doing those, and I started just literally thinking about what is that I really wanted to do, and we always camped. And
what is the millennial speak that you've picked up on? Like, are they hyper focused? What ish? Everything is this is so 24-ish. Like what? There's so many.
I think it's the more their interpretation of the words they're using versus our perception of them.
Right.
Because they don't communicate in the same fashion that we're used to.
Text.
Well, then there's Gen Zers who are a younger, more palatable form of millennials.
They are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're more palatable. I think they're lazier.
I think they're better because they're Gen Xers kids instead of the Boomer kids.
A little bit more.
Jeff, 20.
Thank you, sir.
All right, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
Thank you guys very much.
Kevin, enjoy your
If you guys
weekend.
want to stay, let me know. I'll
What's
get
that?
you guys taken care of. All right.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I hope you can find your way through the maze.
I will.
Okay,
Thank you.
see you, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Is Jerry on the phone?
You didn't give me a number.
Oh, yeah, 40. He's
598.
Yeah, okay, I'll talk.
Okay, 598.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing. Hey, if you have any trouble out there on the roads and streets and highways and byways and you get yourself in a fender bender or a worse accident, your number one choice is always going to be Dingman's Collision Center. They have 4 Omaha metro locations all over the place. So east side, west side, Papillion, you name it, you can find a Dingman's Collision Center just about anywhere. And Trent and I have both used them personally and highly recommend Dingman's Collision Center. All right, it's time for the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based commercial real estate firm operating in multiple states. But here in the metro area, they are famous for Exarban Village, Steel Ridge, River's Edge, West Omaha Village Point Medical Campus, and of course, the Builders District. And Trenton, we've talked about a project that Noddle Companies has been planning in the Builders District for several months now, but it went through planning board this week. And basically, it's a new 5-story building that will be constructed at 1501 Mike Fahey Street. This is immediately south of the Kiewit Global headquarters there in Builders District. Builders District is part of North Downtown, kind of between Charles Schwab Field, Omaha, and Creighton University. And this building, you weren't on mic, go ahead.
Very unique construction.
Yeah, it's going to be very unique because it'll be the first commercial building constructed in this area out of timber. You know, back in the old days, when you think about those Jobbers Canyon buildings and the old market buildings, they had a timber frame. This building will have a more modern version of a timber frame.
Absolutely. And think about those old buildings you see in the old market with these big columns that are just wood. And you don't see a lot of steel. There will be steel in this building, but it'll be a lot of wood. A lot of the ceilings will be wood, and it's kind of unique. It's more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, and it looks cool. People
Unless
love
you're
it.
a tree.
This will be a $57 million project. The building will be 115,000 square feet, primarily office space. To be used by yet to be announced tenants, although there will be 14,000 square feet of ground level space. If you're wondering, the site is currently surface parking lot. And it looks like there will be a parking garage eventually to the south of it. But the Builders District altogether is about a 9 or 10 block area. The
Kiewit University.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the first buildings in it. The Cambria Hotel to the north of that. The Yard apartment building north of that. But we're talking about 2 parking garages, several more multifamily buildings, at least one of which will be condos, some more office space. This is a 9-block area that, when fully built out by Noddle Companies, will really complete that zone between Creighton and the ballpark and convention center arena area. So cool on that. Construction is supposed to begin in September with completion in late 2024. So not that far away. And when you're building a major office building, 2 years is probably about what we expect. And that is your commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. You can find out more about Noddle Companies simply by going to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we're going to bring on our friend Jerry Slusky. He is the founder and leader of the Commercial Real Estate Summit, one of the big events each year in the commercial real estate industry. Jerry, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Trent. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. Love to talk about commercial real estate with you guys.
So what year is this for the CRE Summit?
1990. This will be our 33rd year, Trenton. And may I tell you, your listeners and the two of you, that Trenton Magid was one of the founders with me, and he helped me build this thing. 6-8 years, we used to carry around big notebooks of documents and get ready the night before, stay up till all hours. So, Trenton, a big thank you for building the foundation with me.
Well, I appreciate it. And truth be known, as Jerry Slusky created what was then called the Commercial Real Estate Workshop. My mother did the logo, but the first year was all Jerry, and Jerry did it with Creighton University and some other people. And then Jerry asked that I help it when I was just a young buck in commercial real estate, and I was more the incessant faxer and marketing guy, and we did a lot of work on it together. There's some other people there, Lily Richardson, Severn, and some other people, but it was fun blowing this thing up. But now you have taken it to the 20th level, basically, from where it was, and tell us kind of the overview of what the CRE Summit is today.
Well, I think it's important to people that make their living in commercial real estate. That's lenders, brokers, bankers. I said that architects, engineers, contractors, and we attract them all. If you make your living in our business, then I think it's an important conference to attend. And I'm going to do something, guys, that I know you guys are all positive and everything's go, go, go. Let's keep moving Omaha forward. And believe me, I'm on board with that message. But I might also say that a headline of our conference this year is we're shifting this business from tailwinds to headwinds. And what I mean by that is, as you know, construction costs have risen 20 to 30% in the last 2 years. And just in the last 3 or 4 months, our interest rates have gone up at least a point and sometimes 2.5 points. And both of those coming together, the higher construction costs and the higher interest rates make it very difficult for new proposed construction deals to work in this climate. And so, therefore, the headwinds, and therefore our conference is titled The Changing World of Commercial Real Estate. And about a month ago, I added to the headline, in parentheses, after changing, changed, because I'm talking to more and more people who are finding that deals don't pencil, and they're putting them on the sidelines until they do. So I'm sorry for the message, but I think that's important for your listeners and people in this business and people in general to understand that we may not have a recession, but we certainly are going to endure these headwinds for a while and probably slow some things down.
And I want to give a shout out to you. You founded this thing, and you've really been the master of this thing to be the 33rd year of the CRE Summit. But you've got a very able partner in Chris Menzinger, our friend, and also commercial real estate practitioner. Chris does a wonderful job. And if people go to attendcresummit.com, right?
Correct.
And what I want people to know is it's not just for commercial real estate brokers, attorneys, architect, engineers, title insurance, bankers. There is something for everyone, investors, anybody that's curious about commercial real estate, and anybody that's in the fray or whatever, or you're just interested, go to Attend CRE Summit, and you will really see that you should attend this workshop. And the date this year is
August 26th. It's 2 weeks from Friday, and I might add to what you're saying, Trenton. I agree. I think it's the most important summit we've had since the Great Recession, and I think all of our topics will allow people to come and learn and network, and then leave with a much better understanding of where we're at and where we're going.
And Jerry, you're expecting, I understand, about 600 people to attend, correct?
Well, that's what we have registered so far. We actually topped 7 this week since I sent that note to you, Jeff. We hit 950 pre-COVID in 19. We're shooting for 1,000, and we're way ahead of any enrollment or applications or registrations in the past. So it's an exciting year and an interesting year with all the changes going on, and I think people are taking note of that.
Well, the event's called the Commercial Real Estate Summit, Friday, October 26th at CHI Health Center, Omaha. Jerry, one more time, how do they go about registering?
Just go to CREsummit.com. There's a push-the-button registration. You can do it online. Very simple. And before we close, I want to thank you guys for your contributions to Grow Omaha. I think you broadened the awareness of the importance of commercial real estate to our market, and I think the public and the CRE public owe you guys a big debt of gratitude.
Well, we appreciate you saying that. Those kind words are something that we will cherish. Thanks so much, Jerry, and good luck on the conference this year.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Jerry Slusky, head of the Commercial Real Estate Summit, August 26, CHI Health Center, Omaha. We're going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, it'll be time for the Tentrr Construction Lightning Round. I'm looking at the docket. A lot of stuff on the list right here. Probably about 12 things. So you don't want to miss any of that. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So who knows what this Open Omaha is that's advertised around?
We
Talked about it.
We talked about it a couple times, yeah.
But I still don't understand it.
They're basically,
Artists?
Omaha by Design is coordinated, and they got a whole bunch of different cool buildings, like maybe museums or the zoo or some unique attraction in town, and you go and you tour it and you see the behind the scenes and kind of the backstage, and it's modeled after, like, apparently, like, some organizations did some stuff like this in Minneapolis and Chicago, and people loved it. So they've kind of modeled it after that. And I suspect that the organizations that are opening up their buildings probably like it because it gets some people who are not already.
So Jocelyn is
into
closed
that place
for a year, right? Or parts
year
of
or
it.
two. Yeah.
But did they guys have jazz? Did they just have like Jazz on the Green? Didn't they have something next to it? They just had a music.
They do Jazz on the Green down at Turner Park.
Right, but there was something
Years ago it was.
There was
they used to have.
Did they just do Matt Wallace or something, or was that like a throwback that I saw? Did they? I think the construction there. I thought they just did like some kind of small event.
I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know who Matt Wallace is.
Ward's brother, the saxophonist. You don't know who Matt Wallace?
No.
He's been around Omaha. He toured with Wynton Marsalis, and a really good jazz saxophonist. We saw him.
I'm really into jazz.
I think he was playing with Nikki Boulay at the Jewel, who did Bonnie Raitt. Was that it? That was really good at the Jewel.
15 seconds.
I'm really not up on the saxophone.
About 6.5.
6.5. Okay. 6.5. One or the other.
Whatever it takes. 220, 221.
Whatever it takes.
We
Okay.
got to replace the Spencer valves, though.
The speaker valves.
Yeah. Is that what it was, Spinker?
I don't know. What was that? Also from Fletch?
Probably. Don't tell me my business, son.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting here in the KFAB studio, and it is time for the Tentrr Construction Lightning Round. Tentrr Construction is making Omaha's built environment better, one project at a time. Big projects, little projects, in between projects. They do all of that. Tentrr Construction is one of the biggest construction firms on the planet. But here in Omaha, it's like they're one of the small town construction firms that really kind of get into their clients and have partnerships with everything they do, so they can bring the power of the big firm and mix it with the small firm friendliness and familiarity here in the Omaha area. And by the way, as we like to say, if you're ever looking for a construction company that you want to maybe work for, you would have a hard time finding a better one than Tentrr Construction. So thanks to Tentrr for making this lightning round possible for you and everyone else. So first on the docket, On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina will open its first Nebraska location in a former Pizza Ranch building at 8810 South 71st Plaza. That's in the Shops at Market Point in Papillion. Now, On the Border, based in Irving, Texas, casual dining chain, serves Tex-Mex cuisine. They have 150 locations around the country and also apparently in South Korea, of all places. Closest existing locations, there's one in Des Moines, Iowa, and then they have a handful in the Kansas City area. So, it's always good to have all of the chains represented in town.
And plus, I was just saying we need more Mexican restaurants. I don't think they're represented enough in Omaha.
Especially Tex-Mex.
Yes.
That a little tinge of sarcasm in Trenton's voice, but what the heck? Let's go try it.
Some Mexican.
When it opens, we'll go ahead and try it. So welcome On the Border. Grant and Emmy's Ice Cream and Burger Dog is expected to open about 3 weeks, immediately north of the new Julio's restaurant near 192nd and Q. It will be attached to Julio's, has the same ownership. And also on the docket, Bomb Taco. That's a great name. Bomb Taco. That has replaced El Chicano at 120 Olson Drive. That's about 84th and Highway 370 area in Papillion. Same food, same ownership. But instead of the table service that they had at El Chicano, Bomb Taco, you order from a touchscreen. But other than that, it's my understanding it's pretty much the same. I went to El Chicano a couple times in the over the years. Good place. So I imagine Bomb Taco is as well. Cerro Cider has opened its tap room and lounge at 1012 North 10th Street downtown. This is a company out of Lincoln. They make hard cider and just had their grand opening for the Omaha location today.
I like hard cider.
Do you? Have you been to that place in Ashland, downtown Ashland, Glacial Till?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't been there.
It's like going in. I always say it's like going into a Hallmark movie set. It's so idyllic looking, and I'm sure Sarah
Rockwell's painting in the corner.
Well, more like a Hallmark movie setting. Yeah, it's kind of like we could get into that. So, hey, Ladarius Marshall, star of the Netflix series Cheer, and a coach at Cheer Athletics location in Pensacola, Florida, will be holding 2 camps at no charge at the Omaha Cheer Athletics. This is located just south of 144th and Highway 370 in Papillion. It'll be starting Monday at 9 a.m. To register, just go to cheerathletics.com/Omaha or go to the Cheer Athletics Omaha Facebook page. We really appreciate Cheer Athletics being a sponsor of Grow Omaha.
Jeff, you always thought that the Trenton B. Maggot Foundation was a charitable organization, which it is.
Yes.
But also the Trenton B. Maggot Foundation is when I go up to Cheer Athletics and I'm the foundation of the pyramid.
So many ways I could take that, but many of them probably wouldn't be appropriate for Saturday morning.
Which is better that I'm not the apex. I'm not the top of the pyramid. So
Saturday morning radio.
Those kids are going to be lucky for that.
The Holloway Experience has opened in a former family video space at 168th and Blondo. It's a video gaming cafe. So you can go in there, do the video game thing. They've got food service there, a cool looking place. It is billed as a safe environment for families, young adults, cool thing. Our own Jorge Sotolongo of Grow Omaha fame was the broker involved in that deal. Ross Dress for Less is about getting closer to opening Shadow Lake Town Center. Build out is underway. Got quite a bit of build out still to do, but it'll be, if you're familiar with that property, between Burlington Coat and PetSmart. California-based Ross has 3 existing metro area stores. And then we have Omaha Medical Massage will occupy Suite 260 at 144th and Eagle Run Drive. This massage therapist specializes in treating clients who are in post-surgical recovery. Also do chronic pain, sports, occupational stuff and all that. Maddie Grave from NAI NP Dodge represented the tenant in that lease. Now let's go to La Vista City Center. That's the new downtown in La Vista.
Yep.
They built, among many other buildings, a building that Chili's went into, but it's more than just Chili's. It also has a Waxing the City location, which is open in that building. So you can go get fajitas, and after that, go get yourself waxed.
But can you do it at the same time?
Probably not, because they are two separate businesses. Live Hydration Spa plans to hold a ribbon cutting August 26th, same day as the Commercial Real Estate Summit, for its new location in Rockbrook Village, 10811 Elm Street, to be exact, in Rockbrook Village. FNBO Bank branch is under construction in Gretna at the intersection of highways 50 and 31-6. So basically, it's an intersection, 2 roads, but 3 highways. Go figure that out. Highway 50, 31, and 370. Good grief, that's a lot of highways. Stretch Lab has opened at 201st and Pierce in the Elkhorn area, kind of a fitness.
I've seen those, yeah.
I think there's one in Legacy, if I remember correctly. And progress is happening on the Sicky's Garage restaurant at the Westroads. You can see some really cool photos of that on the Grow Omaha Facebook page.
I would have loved to have been in that focus group picking that name.
Music is playing. We are done. I hope everyone has a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Turner Construction, D&M Roofing, and Dingman's Collision Center. We will talk again at 9 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.